Oh, is this like a mini set, something in the middle? Because the expansion is still ongoing. Although these ones do last a little bit shorter than like what I'm used to in Hearthstone and stuff, right? Those are more like 4 months. These are more like 3 months, something like that. So my only goal for this expansion was let's do at least one 10K draft with an Eldraine, and also let's try to get that level 35 card back. But that doesn't seem like it's going to be possible because I just don't play enough, and even when I do, it's very short. So I'll do something a little bit different today where I'm pitting two decks against each other that are the same color as far as which one will become my primary. So we used that old Sarkhan one that was pretty shitty because all the dragons are kind of bad value. But we'll combine that, or we'll put that against the Goblin deck. That's like, I have Muxus and I have the one guy. So it's not, both of them are like ill-formed decks that have like some sort of vague sense of synergy. Like, oh, you have all of the same type thing. You have a bunch of dragons, you have a bunch of goblins, but they're not really good. Right, you would just need more of them. Or honestly, I was even looking through like what dragons can I craft, and to get a 1-to-1 ratio of value, like a 4 mana 4/4, you would have to make a mythic dragon. Like the regular dragon value is like shit. It's like 0.75. That's like a bug or something for the what? Or it's almost acting like the season is over already or something.
Whoa. You
Jaw
got a
dropping.
quest. If you complete it, you'll get a reward.
It's mocking me
Go
because
play
I
it when
so.
you're ready to play a game.
Why does it do that? It's like mocking me that, oh, haha, you never finish these quests even in a week, because I only play once a week, and even then, sometimes I still don't do the daily quest. It becomes like a monthly quest for me. Yeah, this must be some mini set, I guess. Discover Magic's pop culture playground today by clicking here. Sometimes this will open like a web page though, which I mean, it even has that icon. Kill 25 creatures, cast 20 white or red. We're definitely going to be doing red a lot. So that's pretty convenient that we get both of those. So we're rank 17, so like we're almost halfway there. But it would be insanely difficult in whatever time. Draft Wilds of Eldraine Alchemy. Wilds of Eldraine Limited. Yeah, we still want to save up 10K because I wasted my... I had like an excess. I had like 17K or something. And instead of doing a 10K draft, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to do... I'm going to buy that stupid pet. Now, at least if it was a skeleton from last year, or you know what would piss me off is if they added the skeleton now, but I'm assuming it just won't be there. I bought the stupid Cerebrus fucking pumpkin head thing. What is this? What does the goose have to do with anything? It's almost Halloween time. They should have something more fitting for that, or maybe it's because I already got it. Spent 600 gems on this. Like, it looks dumb anyway. That was just like the first pet I got in a super long time, so maybe it was well earned, but I don't even like it that much. That's the sad part about it. Like, let's see if there's another one I would buy. Just like if it's something cheap, maybe. Companions, this is kind of boring. I already have the black dragon. Yeah, nothing here is really that exciting anyway. Yeah, let's just put these two against each other. I'll maybe mix in green a little bit, but I mostly want it to be a red day. So we'll go between these two, and whichever one performs better will be the one that we use in the future. So the other one is like, has its life on the line, right? Like, we just won't use it at all or very rarely. My problem with this series is, as much as I do it as like a blind playthrough or whatever, like I don't want to metagame or net deck or anything like that, and I don't even really care how good these decks are. I just want to try like different mechanics and stuff. I'm too lazy, or I don't have enough time to actually make decks. So I'll end up just keep doing the same one over and over, even if I do have more cards, even if I could make something else. It's not even about making something better, right? I should just make more a variety of stuff. So I'll have to commit like one episode just to make a deck, and then because otherwise I'll never get there. So this is a very lopsided matchup. What is this? PvZ Heroes, where a rank 16 goes up against a rank 40. So this is okay, I guess. Yeah, we'll see who does better in the best of 3 to determine it. But if they both, you know what? I'll change the measure a little bit. If they win, like I'll go until they lose. So even if we win 2-1 and the other one's like 2-0, I'll still count that as a draw, and they have to go again, right? It doesn't have to be the exact same record. If they both lose, we go again. If they both win, we go again. So one of them has to lose and one has to win. And then we'll pretty much retire the other one. Not that I could even like disenchant the cards. It makes it hard to do like a permanent format with this game. Like, oh, if I can't do such and such, I have to delete my collection. But wait, what is all this? Oh, I have one of those things finally. It took me like a year of playing this game to unlock that one dinky cosmetic or emote or whatever. Yeah, I was even playing Elder Scrolls Legends the other day for the first time, and even that has voice acting and emotes and everything. I can't believe this game doesn't. I mean, it does for some things like the Planeswalkers, but we can just play that raw, and then we'll have plenty of extra mana to basically just dump into something, but I almost don't want to do it because it almost doesn't seem worth it. A 1/1 token with Toxic. Beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. You can't block as long as the opponent has 3 or more counters. Creatures you control with Toxic have lifelink. So I literally could have done a draft and then some for the amount that it cost me. I could have done 2 drafts, all for this cool animation. Oh, come on. Now, of course, I have no way to deal with the enchantments or whatever, so let's just do... I can sack one of these for that because it would be worth it to, you know, in the future. In the future, I'll be able to play stuff obviously a lot easier. Like, look at the value on these two, though. Look how absurd that is. It's like, this would be a 4 mana 4/4. Okay, that's fine. A 4 mana 2/3, and it's not like these effects are that crazy. It's almost like it's trying to tell you, oh, flying is so valuable that everything should be overpriced, but there's so many other flying cards that aren't like that. Right? It's just weird how dragons are statted. Of course, there's some meta synergy bullshit that you can do, but what I find amusing is that so many of the dragon cards relate to reducing their cost. Like, the best, you know, all the dragon cards have effects that are like, make dragons cost less or whatever, so that they actually don't feel like such shit value. So if it wasn't for that, then they would just feel like garbage. You could do that. Yeah, like, what good is this guy anyway? He's not doing anything. So you can't block, but I don't want him to get too many poison counters, or at the very least, I don't want him to, I don't want him to get the lifelink thing either. Have up to 2 creatures. Those creatures don't untap. Okay. Have to just wait a turn. You can still block one of them, but he's going to get the threshold of 3, whatever. Get the lifelink thing. But even though my land is in such a bad spot, I can still play certain things. See, this is almost how it should be. 1 mana 2/2. Wow, what good value. Which even that wouldn't seem really all that crazy, but Toxic 1, can't block. Yeah, even his wannabe dragons, Lizard Beast, are going to be about as better value than mine. Yeah, I literally have to make a Mythic 1 just to make this of any value at all. Guy's effect is +1/+0. Doesn't really matter. You almost don't want to attack because you could just keep setting up to block in such a way that, you know, these are going to be tapped, so they will untap now. There's some cards that do that where, like, they never untap, right? Just like, or there's some other way you can do it, like, you get them on some sort of bad loop. Okay, this is an interesting deck that he has. Like, clearly there's a lot of synergy going on with the commitment to Toxic here. I'm not even worried about the 10 count. I'm more worried about just, like, may discard, create 4, or whatever. We'll do that. Like the lifelink and stuff like that would be annoying. Add 2 mana, which wouldn't be enough to really do anything at all. Deal 1 damage to any target. Okay, get rid of some of these.
I don't need this.
What an epic synergy. Discard a card, no. Wait, what? Oh, I guess I just did it for that effect then. Okay, so we have enough stuff to block here. At least a little bit. He's getting pretty low. Well, maybe I could have just almost killed him there. Or no, I could have killed him because he can't block. I don't know why I'm acting like it's a normal game. It's amazing how long it takes me to actually do one of those drafts. Like, I build it up like such a big deal. I did do another draft of some kind, but it was like Three Brothers War somehow. Like, it's not a current one. Like, every expansion, I should do at least one draft for that expansion. And I should probably do it right when it comes out, which I think I could have done, but then I just chose not to. I always have to do those 3 game draft ones, though, like, play 3 games regardless of record, because otherwise I just don't have time to do anything. The lifelink that's really gonna hurt, or like those cards are super annoying, as blue cards tend to be. But now is he gonna weirdly focus Sarkhan, or is he just gonna let it be? Yeah, I'm almost dead from that alone. And the act of doing this will kill at least one of them.
Look to the skies.
You have 5 mana, which wouldn't actually make too much of a difference here. So you'll have 3 things to block with, but he has enough to just kill me. So it's possible I had some sort of lethal the other way, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to be 1 short, or maybe I'm not going to be. Because he still can't block. I'm like doubting my own lethal like 2 turns in a row, and that didn't seem like I had it at all. Which one would I want to win too? Like this one has been with me for a longer period of time, but it's not really been good. We're about to beat a fucking platinum player who has an actual deck with some amount of synergy. Mine is just like random shit. Why would it matter to view that now anyway? Okay, we have 2. You're not going to have anything you can play in the early game is the problem, right? So you almost shouldn't keep this. But then, I don't know. As you pause mid-climb to catch your breath, you'd swear you heard a heartbeat pulsing deep within the mountain. What are you, that character from Avatar Kiri, who's like fucking hearing all the things that are wrong with the planet, which they didn't really follow up on that plot point much at all. No, it's like, is it weird to find... This is not a quote by me, of course, but just hypothetically, somebody might have said it. Like, fuck. Is it weird to find her attractive because she's a little girl? Or is it weird because she's voiced by an old woman, Sigourney Weaver? Fuck. You can't really tell to her credit, but still. It is odd. You have to get the board under control very quickly, but unfortunately, I just simply cannot do that. It'd be worth it using shock on anything at all. That's pretty cool, but again, it almost seems like something made by a kid or made on Fiverr or something, like just very happenstance. Almost as bad as one of my channel arts. Are you serious, man? Like, it's so unfair how this happens. Like, you just can't do anything. I don't have too many low-cost dragons, and I also don't have too many good value ones, because there really just aren't any in the whole game, apparently. Create a 4/4 token with flying. It's always ironic when the lower cost heroes, planeswalkers, have more endgame effects. Like, his highest cost one is just 3. Although his base effect will be really good to get rid of those 1/1s, assuming he does the same thing. It's like legendary planeswalker, Sarkhan. Yeah, but you have to be more specific because there's fucking 4 of them, which even confused and baited me when I went to craft one. Right, I had seen one in a game, and I go to craft it, and then I craft the wrong one. So then I get pissed and just end up crafting all 4 of them. That's okay, that's okay. So now it's just going to be at the mercy of... we're going to be at the mercy of whatever... Whether we get a land now or not. It would be nice to have this. Right, that first effect is so good. You won't even let me play a bad value fucking 4 mana 2/4. Where a blue can be very annoying. Okay, that we can just double shock if I really want. Gain haste for 5. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that like every turn. It's just Activate only if you can. Oh, I guess you can't really even do it. It probably is worth it to do that. Just stop him from doing anything. It's not very efficient. So we just hope for one more land. It won't even be that big of a deal, even if I do get it. One of these times I do have to make like a removal only deck. Like will make something super annoying because that's what this game is all about. Because it doesn't actually let you attack anything. So it creates such a weird dynamic that other games don't have. Right? Almost every other game is like you have to attack everything, or at least you have the option to attack everything. You have 4, so you can play like both of these. Now this one actually can block. Creatures gain haste. Or not. Or this thing can already attack. It's an odd aspect of it because it's able to, you know, do you really need that to have haste? Like, that's not a very important effect. I'd rather it cost 1 but be the same thing with just... Or like even cost 1 and be a 0/1, but still have the same effect. You don't even have to have flying, but... Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. I mean, he was spamming that last time. I don't want to leave it to chance by potentially losing this and then having him come back. Don't give him a second win here. The nothing. That's quite the name. Why do you even have to do that? Like, it's so unnecessary. Not really doing much though. Like his hand is sort of burned out. Like, how are you at Emerald tier? Not that I'll won't be made to eat my words or something, but it would be worth it to do this because you can create a 4/4 first of all right away, and then anytime he tries to attack me, he'll take 3 damage right away. It gains haste, which I arguably don't even want to do, but actually I will. Right, because he shouldn't be able to attack through or do anything. As soon as you attack, me or a planeswalker, imagine the planeswalkers were like that too. Like, you can't attack those. Unless, well, there is no unless though, because, you know, it's not like a planeswalker is going to directly hit your face or something. We could use this. It's a very inefficient type of spell, but there's nothing to even tap. Like, what are you doing, dude? It's overkill, or I guess it'll extend it another turn. Flying first strike, so it might be worth it actually to do that, considering the way that he, when it remutates, you may cast a spell. When it remutate, oh fuck. Or no, you just fucked up.
Watch this.
Or maybe not. Wait, oh, it's because this guy's not a dragon, obviously. Fuck. That is quite a game-changing play. Players can't gain life, which is an effect that I'm a big fan of, actually, because, you know, I hate when people are fucking constantly healing, but I should have like 4 of those just to counter the stupid, whatever, to counter all those stupid white decks that we see all the time. I mean, it's just utterly ridiculous, but he is out of cards, so I wonder what's going to happen. And these are actually getting good value finally, although it doesn't affect that. Mirror box 4/4. Legend rule doesn't apply. Each legendary creature gets +1/+1. The effect is still there though, so you know he's not going to be able to heal. And so I would have liked to have done that, but I guess I can do it. Give everybody haste, but there's no real point to it. Spell costs 1 less to cast. Does that mean it can cost 0 though? I guess we've never seen that actually happen. Oh wow, we make him even quit out. Look at the disparity in that matchup. So now the other deck has quite a hill to climb. It might even seem unfair because now we might face a higher rank opponent because we got to silver. So now we'll play like a mythic player because it wants to give me this busted matchmaking. But basically, that part I won't really use as an excuse for it. But that did actually pretty well, all things considered. I mean, he's safe, right? Like, if this deck loses, then this one is out. If it wins, then we get another chance. Even if it wins 2 and loses 1, right? That would still be okay. I almost missed lethal, too, in that first game. Maybe even, like, twice. Because I didn't believe I actually had enough damage there. So often, you just don't even look for it. It's like in chess, right? You'll miss, like, a maiden 6 because you wouldn't even imagine that you have it. But that's the objective measure of, like, trying to... I don't even remember having that one. You're trying to, like, you gotta look for stuff without, you gotta see stuff without needing to look specifically for it. So the double is there, 2/2. Whenever it attacks while you control a creature with 4 or greater, something. It gains double strike. I guess you can wait. Projectile cats. Now he's bronze, but that means he's gonna kick my ass because we just saw from myself what a bronze player looks like. I guess a cool card back that has nothing to do with anything. Okay, so go here, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, it was can't sacrifice a land, draw a card. Very bad effect. He's just gonna let me beat on his face. That card could actually have a better impact than maybe I'm realizing. Just the one that you can't heal. That's a very unique effect. Neither players can heal, and it doesn't matter to me because I never like to do that anyway. This is actually one of my earlier streams, relatively. Just the fact that it's been so goddamn late lately. Okay, discard a card, draw a card, put that down. You can play both of these and just fully flood the board. Only thing we'll get punished by is just, we'll get punished by the simple fact that you're able to AoE me. But if you're going to do that, I'm probably going to lose anyway. Are you fucking serious? I mean, I did overcommit, but I mean, how am I supposed to not do that? Like... cannot play slowly with this. Create a 2/2. 2/2 red goblin shaman creature token with whenever this creature... yeah, it just goes from 100 to 0 so fast. Now we already lose. Right? We already lose. Because... of the life link and all this kind of shit. Like, it's just over. Doesn't mean that we can't win the next 2, though. Guy really likes cats. I'm not talking about a stupid movie that I was making fun of the other day. Okay, it doesn't mean it's over, but, like, you know what it would come down to is just whether he gets that AoE or not, right? He got it, he played it, he won. And now, if he doesn't get it this game, then I win. It's just that simple. That's the problem with good decks that I don't ever have. Like, or the problem that I have against them is, like, you're going to have a situation where they have too much cycling, so they're going to guarantee to get whatever it is they want to get. Even if they're like a 250 card deck or something dumb. Every creature gets +1/+0 in first strike. I don't really even remember having some of these. Like, what is this deck? Maybe this isn't even the one I was using, but... it has a lot of goblins in there anyway. Right, so we have the 2 gold ones. There aren't really any mythic goblins at all in the game. Sacred cat, more like scared cat. It will be soon. Sacrifice an artifact with mana value. Actually, like, we're not even playing any of these things for the effects. 3 mana, 3/3. You know what's one card game I should try just for the fuck of it is Digimon. Like, that's just one I never... I somehow played it a little bit when I was younger, but... very, very little. I don't know why I just randomly thought of that, but I played so many of these other card games that are kind of like... very limited in scope. Like, some of them are dead or dying or whatever. amazing how much it bothers me when games are about to go offline, because it's like, oh, I always wanted to play that, and then I hear about it. It's like with a celebrity, right? Like, you don't really care about the celebrity, but the first time you hear about them is when they die, right? That's the first notable thing that you care about. The only time you hear or talk about them is, oh, did you hear about that person? No, what happened? Oh, they died. Like, there's nothing interesting that they did in their life or whatever, at least as far as you're concerned. Discarded deals 2 damage. When it enters, it deals 2 damage. Going to go full face. Of course, he does have AoE capability here, and I probably should have done that too, but it's just very hard to outdo healing because he's just going to have so much of it, right? Like, you're never going to be able to outdo it. It's one thing, okay, you control the board, you can do damage to the face, but you can't deal with healing, and you can't deal with AoE, and you can't deal with enchantments, and you can't deal with, like, anything. Even big minions. I mean, that's so dumb. Like, what am I supposed to do about it? That card just counters my deck. Like, if you can just do that, I just can't do anything. Now my hand is totally burned out. What an epic comeback play there. But it's just not going to be enough. Maybe there's like a goblin planeswalker I should have. Cards are kind of expensive. It's just, it almost doesn't matter. Ample haste. I mean, we did have a lot of haste stuff in the process. So I could do this quickly to +1/+0 to trade in, right? Because that's clearly what he's going to do. Or he'll just do that anyway. And first strike. Now, shouldn't that mean it won't die? Because you get... Yeah. That's kind of cute, but clearly he's not going to have another board clear after what he just did. He just have 4 of those cards, and I can never beat you. At least with this kind of deck. Yeah, see, it's already over there. So I guess Sarkhan actually wins, which I'm a little bit surprised by. We get to continue to play as a deck we've already played as a lot over time, but I guess it earned it. But maybe this matchup was just tougher than the other one, though, so it's completely unfair and rigged, but what the fuck? Just mitigate the damage. And of course, even if I did have a chance of beating those or surviving them, he's going to heal for so much from it that it doesn't matter. Alright, so we could use that one. Let's just make sure we have the daily quest done. Right, because that was red too, so it should be okay. So 25 of your opponent's creatures, which is a lot harder to do than you might think. Because rank 18... I mean, I don't know how much is left. In 28 days... Okay, so... within a month, I would have to get to fucking... Right, like in 4 weeks, I would have to get to 35. So just to put that in context, it's already been like a month and a half or 2 months or whatever. So in 2 months, I've only gotten to like rank 20. So it's pretty much impossible that I would do that. So you pretty much have to play every day, even if you don't play a lot. Right? Just do the daily quest every day and stuff like that. Let's reward Sarkhan, I guess. Just by playing that period. Now it's going to do completely shit, right? That's what sometimes happens. In fact, it happened with this very same deck, I think, before. We were competing between this and other decks like, you know, like the green and stuff, and it beat them in the best of 3. Like, everybody does the best of 3 and see whoever does the best, and then you play as that one for the rest of the episode. But then once we did that, then we started to play like garbage. So it somehow outperformed them that way, but then it didn't perform well once it won. Like winner's burnout. There's just some decks and some mechanics I never get sick of. Like, I could play that green one over and over and over and fucking hexproof and stuff. Even though I haven't been using hexproof for that long. Probably a couple months, actually. But I guess for me, that's not that much. Because we're talking, like, 1 episode a week. That's, like, an average of an hour to 2 hours or something. Dumb like that. I guess either I'm just easily entertained, or the way I do things is sometimes very conducive to, you know, long-term whatever, like you're doing it in such a pace that it doesn't get old, or you always have like something to work towards. My collection might be a lot better than I realize, because you know that's the beauty of this game, is I'm not disenchanting anything, because you can't. You're gonna end up having like every card in the game, and it's like, even if my decks are shit, it's just because I'm too lazy to actually make anything with them. This isn't even the skeleton, but it kind of looked a little bit like that. Okay, this is better because you get the cost reduction. But see, if you don't have stuff like that, then it's completely garbage, because, again, like, wow, now it's a 6 mana 5/5 instead of a 7 mana 5/5. Such good value. Incredible. This spell costs 1 less to cast. Go hit him in the face. What a surprise that it's a healing deck. Wonder if it's going to involve buffs and stuff too. I just get annoyed when I see the same thing too many times. It doesn't mean it's too good or it's broken or it's unfair. It doesn't mean anything that I even inherently don't like it. It just means that you see oversaturation of it. Although I guess it's not exactly the same one, but it just punishes me so hard because I don't have any removal like ever, so. And that should be able to give like itself haste, so. Doesn't matter, because like the best he's gonna do is trade in, and I almost feel like he's inclined not to do that. The only one that, okay, I mean, isn't that quite a costly thing, because now you can't keep taking advantage of these stupid heals and buffs. Or I guess he hasn't done any buffs yet. Yeah, after like 4 turns of this being out there, then it finally makes these decent value of 4 mana 5/5. So mind-blowing. Meanwhile, green has a 5 mana 10/10. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, each player discards their hand, then draw 7 cards. That could be both good and bad. It just depends on, you know. You would think it would benefit me more, though. Add a mana of any color. I should just put this down to maybe as a treasure token, or maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, why does this game almost feel underrated, or at least this iteration of it? Compared to, like, wow, Tibia averages more viewers on Twitch. Not that you can measure it by that alone, but still. Royal walls they control. Okay, dude. Didn't seem like I was in such a great spot, but if you leave something like that whelp around, it certainly is going to get out of control. In fact, how many of those do I have in there? I should always have 4. I tend to have a bias against crafting actually the same cards over and over, though. Like, I'd rather make 2 different cards, like with Hexproof, for example, showed that. I could have made 2 really good Hexproof minions, but I'll make 1 good one and 1 bad one just to have variety, right? Because I don't want to just have the same ones over and over. Why is that spider one after this? Because I haven't edited this one maybe in a while. Here's some whelp. The 1 ring. Oh, did I just get lucky and get that without even noticing? Or maybe it was some sort of guaranteed thing. This we do have the ability to put more. I mean, even as I was saying that, I guess I could do it. What's the other one? There was one other thing that's pretty good for just like base value considerations. This one, Dragon Lord Servant, and there's another one too. A Shaman. There's like Shaman and Servant. Assuming I have enough wild cards to do it, which I hope I do. We do, actually. This might actually make it good value finally, because again, every single dragon I have at least is shit value. I'm saving that mythic wild card, but for what, I don't know. This is part of my green completionist challenge, by the way, when I'm being a fucking complete clown and crafting like red cards and stuff, but just to keep myself entertained. Okay, that one I would like in the long run, but we want, what was it? Oh, Shaman, right? Or did I just make that? That was the Servant. What the fuck is that? How many things could possibly mention Shaman in there? Okay, that was maybe a bit of a mistake. We could put the ones we just made in there, and if I do that, then, you know, we have to get rid of something. So let's actually see. Or let's actually just look at every dragon, period. Let's see. This was the one that could have been your card back. You could at least put it there, I guess. That is a pretty cool picture. Sarkhan gets booted. We do have 2 of those. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has this. Gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Why do I even have any of that stuff in there? Like, maybe I should just redo the whole thing. Let's just do it again with only dragons. So by having that deck win, we actually replace the deck itself. But whatever. It's still going to be Sarkhan based. Historic. The first step is put in all the Sarkhans. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I guess any card that mentions him too. And just put in all the fucking dragons or all the cards, at least that relate to them. Like, you know, put 4 of these. Put 4 of those. I don't know why I'm so keen on this. I guess just because it could potentially summon a dragon for me. Right, this is all the deck should be. Just like, you know, potentially have 4 of those. Haste, when it attacks, look at the top 6 cards. You may reveal a dragon from among them, put it in your hand. That's actually not bad. But I shouldn't have too many. Well, let's see if we have room. The egg, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, I'm not really going to do that. Whenever it or another artifact enters the battlefield, nothing to do with what I want. When it enters the battlefield, credit. I mean, most of these you should have just because they're dragons, and they're the only dragons I really have. Flying Trample, whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. 4 mana, 4/4. Wow, this must be a mythic card. Yeah, it's gold. Like, what a crazy value thing. I've never seen such amazing value in my whole life. You see, we're already at the max capacity, so what I'll do is I'll get rid of some of the the doubles and the triples, I guess. Or I guess I could just have more, you know, just for the pure variety of it. Convoke is kind of pointless with this type of deck. Flying Haste. Let's just decide on which ones are actually the best, though. Or maybe I certainly don't need this many of the lands either. How many would that leave me with? You would have 13, which is not quite enough. Let me get rid of some of the ones that are going to be duplicates. Like, do you really need 2 of these? I'll do 1. I just guess for the low cost aspect, you kind of do on it. Right, like stuff that has to do with dragons, but that's not really... No, I kind of like that guy, though. Yeah, some of these are not really very good value cards, but I just have them for the fuck of it. That might be one of the best ones we have. Flying Trample, 4 mana, 4/4. Dragon Wellblade. This is not a very good card. But you want to have at least 1 of each just for the fuck of it because you don't have a ton of variety. That can be pretty good, actually. 6 mana, 4/4, Flying Haste. I guess we can do 15 lands. That should probably be enough. I don't know when I got some of these. Did I just get them in like the pack I just opened? Because I don't remember having them. Yeah, let's do all different pictures here. Let's start from the end and do it. How many are there actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if we look at it, we have a decent curve. We have a lot of good low-cost stuff. A lot of stuff that's going to increase the value of them or reduce the cost of them. Reckless Barbarian is okay. This guy is pretty good. We obviously have all the Sarkhan related cards. That guy's fine. That guy's fine. Kind of look at the ones that are... Or this would be a perfect opportunity to put a mythic one in there. Like, let's get rid of one of these and just do that right now. Since I'm committing to this so hard. Fuck it. Whichever one comes to mind, I'll just do Mythic, Dragon, or wait. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that hard to find. I forget how you actually do it like that. Just something that's really good value, good cost, or let's see how we do this. Mythic Rare. Right, we all, maybe almost already have another one. Because it's been so long. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon. I mean, that's interesting. If you control at least 6 or more lands. That's a very easy condition to reach. I'm going to just get baited in by the first one I see. Okay, those I don't really care about. This is actually a very interesting card. Rather than getting just a raw value thing. The problem is with this particular deck, I don't have enough land in there, right? You would almost have to... You know what? Let's actually do that and then let's do that and then change my whole complexion of the deck. Like, we'll get rid of these double ones and then just put more land in there. This is okay, but you don't need 2 of them, right? And then how do you or no, I'm in craft mode, that's why. Chivon, Convoke Haste is a little bit expensive to put in. We should have at least like 20 land. What is something I can get rid of 1 of that I have 2 of? Some of these are not very good value, but just for the heck of it, I'll still do it. Or maybe that's enough, like 17. So you're very seldom going to get that effect still, but I'll still do it. Right, so that's that was a really weird decision to, you know, just jump to that. Like, what is another one that I would want to make for the next one? You don't lose unspent red mana. When it dies, you may pay any amount of red. When you do, it deals damage to a target. 4 mana 4/4. 4 mana 4/4. I'm just looking at the raw value. So there's a lot of 4 mana 4/4s. In fact, almost exclusively, that's what we're seeing. I'm just looking for one that's really well statted, and there just isn't any such thing. Right? 6 mana 6/6. 6 mana 4/4. I don't really care about the effects as much. 7 mana 6/6. That's pretty much it. Yeah, there weren't really that many that I would have wanted anyway. Put a couple more lands in there. We could start with like the first couple. Wait. Oh, because they're obviously mythic. Even my cosmetics have to be the best kind of all. Okay, 69. I don't know why I did that. I don't know which one I just put in. We got to have different pictures for all of them. That is kind of a fun way to do it. Oh, yeah, and I wanted to change the picture of the thing. Didn't I just do that and then it changed back again? Yeah, we put in this mythic card that is going to be like... Wait, now I'm confused as to what is what. It's actually this one. And then we'll put that picture on there, which I forgot now what that card even is. It was a red card. This. Right, so Sarkhan gets replaced there. Dragon Master Outcast. So just trying to think of it. You have like 17 land. So if you have 6 or more, create a 5/5 just for nothing. But it's also kind of dumb because he's gonna, you know, he's not gonna be that hard to get rid of. You would just play him as a static play, and if he happens to stick around, then so be it. You would still want a couple more lands, but I don't want to get rid of any of these. Let's see how well this does. And maybe next time I could do a draft, but I guess I still can't because of the stupid, whatever. Just the fact that I still won't have enough gold for it. I've pretty much given up on my card back quest. Instead of a minion, I almost wish that was like what do you call it? Like an enchantment or something else. The one that summons a 5/5 if you have 6 or more lands. I think that's very unlikely to happen, so maybe that was a bad decision. But I could always make other decks around it where you just have a ton of land in there. And again, none of the dragons were really that exciting to look at anyway, the mythic. This is really the problem you run into right at the beginning. And again, all these cards that are dragons or relate to dragons either have to do with reducing the cost of them, increasing somehow their value, giving you extra mana to play them, like giving you treasure tokens. Like, none of them are like just good value in and of themselves. That's not even like a my collection kind of problem. It's unironically just seemingly the case. My best value dragon is not even a red card. It's a green card, like that 7/7, 7 mana 7/7 that whenever it hits the player's face, it like buffs everything by +20/+20 potentially. At least using the D20 thing. So you could use these to summon something big. When it enters the battlefield, look at top 3 cards. You may reveal them. Yeah, we could unironically get up to like 6 mana here and play something very suboptimal still. When it enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw. Even that's not a particularly great value card. This is the weird thing I run into. Like, why do I never get enough land? Like, we have 17 in there. Like, how much would you expect to have? That's okay. Whenever it attacks, deals 1 damage to the target creature defending player controls. When it enters the battlefield, if mana was from a treasure token, this would have to like use both of them. Let's use like one of them. Or no, I guess I can't. We're kind of sitting on that mana a little bit too long though, and I don't need to. Sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. Okay. He has the type advantage. It's not fair. Water is super effective against fire. A very strange crafting decision actually on my part. I want to give up one of them, but not. But yeah, this land thing is weird. I don't get it. It's very strange. Invoke Flying Haste. You could just tap them, but it still wouldn't be enough. You'd have to sack one and then do it. 4. Let's just do this. Fuck it. Seems maybe a bit excessive, but it's fine. Now you'd be able to basically block into that. See how hard that quest is to do too? Like destroy 25 of your opponent's creatures, but it's not up to you whether you can do that or not, because it's like, you know, they can choose just not to block. Maybe they'll do it specifically just to troll you so you can't complete the daily quest. I have 17 lands and I'm down to like, you know, almost 25% through my deck, and I only got 2. Like, it's so weird. For 4 damage to each opponent at the beginning of your upkeep, you have 6 or more lands, but that's just never going to happen. So what the fuck? I mean, you could block it with both of them, but now I'm doing this just to get more land. Who cares? It's a fun effect. I mean, that helps him way more than it helps me. Fearsome Whelp, Dragon Lord Servant. This is actually coming together a little bit, but it's still awkward. Like, I'm still not really convinced by... There'll be like very specific decks that are good for dragons, but obviously these have not been any of them. Or like having all 4 Sarkhans is probably very superfluous, but I only have 1 of each. You could have like 4 of each. Like literally half your deck is just 16 cards are just Sarkhan. That was a weird thing to do that actually helped him. Right, like why would you ever do that? Or this card would be pretty bad in drafts because, you know, they'll be in top deck mode and then you'll end up helping them. Start a card, draw 2 cards. Almost seems like he's milling himself out, but for what purpose here? Spell costs 1 less to cast for each land card in your graveyard. I'd be lucky if I have any lands, period, let alone in the graveyard. So all he wants to do is draw. He must have some Exodia instant win condition or something crazy. I haven't seen too many instant win conditions in this game, but I see a lot of like infinite loops. They can certainly constitute that. You can have 3 or more spells, something. You can't do anything about it. Yeah, attacking with that 5/5 is really a genius idea. We lose our blocker, and then our only blocker for the flying stuff, and then we give him 7 cards when he only had like 3 in his hand. It's still not the end of the world, but obviously this is not the kind of deck where you're gonna have a lot of healing. I feel like I'm actually getting super unlucky, unironically. It's just very strange. The ones that could block are just not really going to help me because you already have way too much. But I could block at best 2 of them, so I'm just dead. I got very lucky with that card back that I had because it was like a anniversary thing, and I just so happened to be playing then and obviously have the 10k gold to do it. Or maybe that's what made me feel compelled to do it then, but I was pretty much ready to do it anyway. At least we'll be looking at this dude for a long time, so it was maybe kind of worth it. Or imagine if it's like a seasonal cosmetic, like once Halloween is over, they'll take off the pumpkins and they'll just be like regular dogs. Okay, hurry up. It takes so long, dude. Like, I don't like to quit out, but it's so annoying. 14 for, yeah, you use a dragon deck and then you get clowned by dragons. Like, this is the right way to do it. You're getting clowned by drakes and like other weird thing like lizards and stuff. Like wannabe dragons are outshining the dragons themselves. Okay, so that was pretty unlucky. I'm very confused by the land situation. Like, what are the odds on that? Like, 1 in 3 cards you draw should be a land. But so many of these games, I'm just not getting them. That happens to me so often. Like, if you just count it. Hold on. Right, we do have 17. I don't know what more I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Nothing really else I'd want to get rid of. I mean, there are some pretty shitty, especially shitty value dragons, but that's just the nature of it. Mastery pass, which of course isn't going to help me at all here. I'll get to rank 25 like I did last season, but there's no way I'll get to rank 35. That would be insane. Even, I guess if I play like every day now, but I'm not going to. Okay, once again, you only have 2 land, which is just mind-boggling to me. Something feels almost bugged with it. Like, why do I always get 2 land and 2 land exactly, and then I never get any more, like the rest of the game? You'll just beat on your face with this stupid haste thing as if that's really an important effect for this dude. Put fear in his heart that it's going to be like, you know, oh, I'm an aggro deck. I have the type advantage here. This is so dumb with the lands, though. I'm so confused. I guess you have to have like 25 the way it was suggesting. Be 24. I don't know why, but either that or you have a ton of card draw and cycling to try to get to them. Or you just have to deal with it and hope that some games you'll get lucky and actually draw one of your almost 20 land cards. Okay, that I can't do anything. And that is really weird, I have to admit. Okay, this you can keep attacking with, so it's fine for now. We can keep abusing that so that we can use only the 2 land. Something very peculiar about that. Like a Mustafar wannabe knockoff place, have a fucking little lightsaber deal on those things. There's your library basic card, put it on the battlefield tab and shuffles. Put 2+1/+1 counters. Like, why would you want to do that on your opponent though? I guess maybe that could be the last card that finally mills them out. There's not much you can do about that either. This wouldn't actually kill that either. And of course I can't even do it. Deal 4 damage to him. Not really going to make much of a difference. Not going to be able to kill me because I can still block, but it's very tight. I could even tank the 6/6 and just block the 3/3 then. Bloated Contaminator. I barely played as Toxic. I had like one deck that I was trying a little bit. I tried it a couple times in like a draft where there were just a lot of them. We unlock the second page on the emote menu. See, I won't even be able to complete this last quest because it's just impossible to kill enemy minions. You could win like 100 games and still not do it because everybody just fucking doesn't block. They always flood their board, but you just can't do anything about it. I don't think I've used like a single AoE in this whole game, or I guess I did like burn down the house here and there, but it wasn't like super interesting. I just love the picture on it. Yeah, something's going on with the game. Like, I always have 2 and only 2 for the whole game. Now I'll never draw into another one. You would think like a 1-to-3 ratio should be good. Like, you know, you have 2, or you have like 20 lands, and then the rest is 20 lands, 20 minions, 20 other enchantments and other shit, but obviously I don't deal with stuff like that, so 20 land, 20 minions, 10 spells, and 10 whatever. You have 3, so you can play both of those. This one is actually pretty good, sufficient value. In fact, I'm surprised it's not a mythic card, just because it's too well statted. Flying Tremble, whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. Exile top 2 cards of your opponent's library face down. You may look at those cards for as long as it... Yeah, how would you read this in real life then, though? Oh, just scroll down. You know, talk about a digital card game. They'll just start making the cards like that. So they never have to update or print new ones. They'll just be digital, so you can just put whatever you want on there. It's like the old days with bugs in games. Like if you release a game and it's bugged, then you know you'd have to give people a refund, or they'd have to actually go out and get a new copy. So imagine how annoying that would be, and yet you know that's become the norm now. Like, oh, you can just update it online, so you can have as many bugs as you want and just deal with them. And it's not even like rose-colored glasses, like, oh, games are more complex today or this or that. But relative to the technology available, right, like, games were pretty complex back then, too. It just doesn't seem like it now because we're spoiled. Okay, so even with all this, it's still very hard to play anything. And again, the land is just eluding me to an extreme degree. That is kind of sad that you can't even complete a daily quest within the course of 2 weeks, basically, or whatever, like 1 week. It's even earlier today, but I'm already still so tired. Ever seen somebody play Magic the Gathering half asleep? Okay, 2 with this, 4/4. Flying Tremble, we could do this one too. It's going to be hard for him to deal with all this before he does an AoE and I get fucked. You had to go through a lot to get to that point, though, obviously. You dragons, or maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that doesn't actually do anything because it's always confusing with the terminology of what is a spell and what is not. Because technically everything is a spell. That's why it's called Magic the Gathering. But, you know, calling creatures spells is kind of stupid. Like, this dude's reducing the cost, but it's also like this is reducing it by 2. So I don't know whether that's actually doing anything or not. This could be like the dude in Dark Souls, where if you fucking get the dragon helmet and you just walk around and spit on people or spray people with your breath. I was gonna make like a whole playstyle character based around that. That was such an elaborate thing that I did. Like every character, you got like 6 concurrent playthroughs going on, and every character has their own little use, and it's just kind of crazy. I never even finished a lot of them, but just like at least they all kind of had their own Whatever, he's indestructible, but it shouldn't really matter. It's 2 less to cast. Here's a treasure token. Okay, perfect lethal. Yeah, I guess I don't really understand. When it's saying dragon spell, does that mean like... I don't know. Because I didn't think of it like that, and somehow I'm doubting the value of it here a little bit. Like, let me check. It didn't seem like the value was that good even there. You're getting the little whelp to help you out, but... Let me look at it again. Serving goblins coat themselves with grease imbued with noxious herb, hoping to discourage their ravenous masters from adding them to their meal. So I'm sure it does work with that, but again, the wording is just confusing. Or there's a lot of wording that's confusing in this game in general, because it's like, you know, you'd be looking at it from the context of, you know, they would say, like, do it to an opponent. So that almost makes it seem like, oh, to a minion or to their face. But no, it means that, like, if it was a double duel, which you can't even seem to do in this game, in this version of the game, then it's like, oh, do it to an opponent. Oh, you mean the only opponent that's there. Like, it doesn't... They, like, just copy-pasted that right in probably from the physical cards, because it's like... You know, probably you're doing a lot of double duels and stuff there, but... That might be a common format, but obviously not here. Or maybe there is a way to do it and I just don't know. Yeah, only 1 land. So this is starting to get ridiculous. With, like, have I started a single game in my life here with more than 1 land or more than 2? How can it be this rare to get them? It's unbelievable. That is at least a 3rd one, so that should just carry me all the way there. Wow, what a crazy, crazy moment. Now at least we can start to play the stupid Sarkhans. To be like... But yeah, with this guy's help, it should be pretty easy to do. Deal 1 damage to each opponent and each creature under opponent's control. Sarkhan deals 4 damage to target player planeswalker. Search your library for a number of dragon creatures, put them onto the battlefield and shuffle. But that's for 9. You could play, we have 4, 5, 6. Whenever a creature attacks your planeswalker you control, this would probably be pretty worth it. And you can summon a 4/4 right away as well. Right, so that would be fine.
Your end has arrived.
Reduce the cost a little bit. It would help me now to attack with the Dragon Mage because I do need the cards, but... And it would kind of fuck up their hand, assuming it's already that full. That's okay. I mean, this doesn't really have like a win condition aspect to it though. Or, I mean, you can turn itself into one, but like, I like the ones that have like a super high cost one, like this, or even the 3 cost one. Like summon like 5 7/7s or 7 5/5s or whatever it is. At 2 mana, any combination, spend only to cast creature spells. We do have flying capability here. 4/4 red dragon creature gains flying. What the fuck?
Come on.
If that would have been enough to kill it, then I would do it, but obviously not.
A dragon does not lose.
Too bad you're not a dragon, though. You're a fucking planeswalker human, whatever. Seven, 8. You're still like one short here, which is pretty surprising. This game just has so many goddamn cards, which is a good thing, but you know, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but it gives you a lot to work towards. So this could be one of those really ongoing, super long series that ends up being like, you know, like Hearthstone. Like, oh, I'll just play Hearthstone until the game goes offline. Like this, I don't really have any particular format with. I'm kind of just playing it just for the sake of it. As long as you don't heal or something, we can do that. We should just win because we have flying. So what are you gonna do? Wow, what a shitty way to lose. But their deck is always pretty interesting. Number of lands you control. You know, that's the kind of deck I would like. Just summon a bunch of well-standard crazy things, or I don't even like buffing them so much, though. I like just the innate inherent value of it, which obviously gets punished all the time with the removal and stuff, but still. It's very hard to do this daily quest to the point where I almost wouldn't even care about it. It's basically like fucking Norton thing never goes away, I swear to God. You can try to uninstall it, you can try to disable it. I don't know, like there's nothing even really that I had to do. I was just trying to set up for doing a draft next time, but maybe I still can't do that. I don't know why he keeps resetting some of these things. Like,
Good to see you again.
even the tutorial was telling me like, oh, you know, look at the whatever, go here to play. Like I haven't done that before or something. Okay, see you tomorrow.